Welcome, my friends. Is there anything better than fresh baked bread, especially when it turns out beautiful? Today I'm getting started in the kitchen with some prep to make some chili, and I gotta clean up this mess. I also have a sick kiddo home from school with me. When did he get taller than me? I'm not okay with it. I'm not a fan, but we'll be fine. I have a lot of cleaning to do. I noticed how ridiculously dusty these globes were, so I started there. And then I proceeded to prep some apple crisp apples. What I'm doing is I'm actually going to be making these for a gathering that I'm hosting. So I'm prepping all the apple slices ahead of time, and I'm going to pop them in the freezer. And that way they're really easy to pull out and make when I need to. I'll link that in the description if you want a delicious apple crisp recipe. And then I am also prepping some chili, doing some ground venison, but you can also use ground beef. I'll pop my recipe in the description for that too, because it's a classic and it's really delicious. And now that the kitchen is cleaned up, it's time for something really fun. Welcome to today's video. I have been waiting to start decorating in the kitchen because it's been so dreary here today. I swear, an actual literal switch was flipped on November 1st. And we are in the dark doldrum days of fall and winter here in Michigan. And so I'm gonna have to figure out my filming schedule based on a lot of darkness here these next couple of months. But the show must go on. And so we are decorating the kitchen today for Christmas. And one of the biggest challenges that I find for Christmas decorating is what to do with all of my real plants. I have quite a lot of them and I would like to keep them out, but it doesn't always look good with Christmas decor. This particular plant is very vibrant green, and with like a Christmas tree next to it, it's gonna look a little funny. So I am, by the end of this video, determined to figure out what I am doing with all of my real plants so they can stay alive during our holiday season. First, I'm going to start by removing all of the fall decor. And sometimes I keep the decor that I use year-round in seasonal decor. So even though I'm sorting through all of the things that I have, you'll notice that most of the things that are in my kitchen actually stay in the kitchen, and then I decorate around them with a few seasonal touches. I'm starting with these wreaths in the window. I like that they're very minimal so they don't block the view. And when I'm trying to get the exact same length for various wreaths across an entire window so that they're not all different lengths, I just cut the ribbons to the same size, and then I actually just nail them right into the window trim. A lot of people would prefer command strips or something that are less permanent, but it's really easy to just pull out that really tiny nail and it leaves a very small hole. Next, I'm going to start decorating these shelves, which when I designed the kitchen, I very much designed these shelves for me to have a playground for decor. This is for pretties, this is for decorating, this is for styling, and not everybody has the space to do that, but in the kitchen, you really have a lot of opportunity for very specific styling moments that can make a very big statement for very little effort. I made these dried oranges years ago. Probably like 3 or 4 years ago. And every year I think to myself, I'm gonna open this bag and it's gonna be all moldy, but every year they're fine. So kudos to me 4 years ago for doing a really good job drying these. I think they'll be cute on these shelves. If you watched my living room decorating video just last week, then you might have remembered me saying that there's a difference between decorating and styling. And in the kitchen, most of your effort is going to go into styling. It's very detail oriented, and I love that about it. It gives you a lot of license to be creative, to take a regular old deer, which most people have some kind of deer figurine for Christmas, and add a ribbon to it and make it really unique and cute. And also taking that ribbon, which you'll see me do multiple times throughout this video, and scattering it around the house to make your home feel cohesive with that color palette. In my mortar and pestles, I ran out of small greenery, but I did have these small wreaths. So instead of putting greenery in, I'm just gonna layer a wreath and then I'm gonna put a little bit of cloth inside of it to give the bowl less depth so that I'm not having all of my ornaments sink to the bottom. And then I'm just putting a few very strategic ornaments and making a cute little centerpiece out of my antique mortar and pestles that has a lot of glow and gold and those metallic elements. And I love the way this little corner turned out. It's so beautiful. 99% of these items are antique and a beautiful collection that tells a story that's unique to my home. And I love using antiques in Christmas decorating just for that reason. One thing that might be helpful for you is to make sure that you have chosen a color palette before you start decorating. This isn't necessarily a theme. A lot of times people feel like they have to have a Christmas theme, but I usually choose a color palette instead. So my color palette this year is gold, the kind of burgundy red that you see on the bow, a little bit of the muted cinnamon or coppery tones, and then a deep brown. Mixing that in with clear ornaments and whites and golds is going to make that really classic. Side note, if you don't have a battery organizer, this is the time of year to get one and store those batteries safely. I love this one. It holds a ton. I'll link it in the description. Now look at these. How cute are these? They're just little teeny napkin rings. I got them at Hobby Lobby last year. I'm assuming they probably have something similar, if not these. They literally go everywhere. They were only $1 a piece, and they just add a touch of green anywhere you want it. I think it's really great for spots like this. You don't want anything cluttery on here, right? Like this is work station, but all it takes is just a little teeny bit of greenery. And now it looks festive. Now, as far as countertop items go, I try to keep my countertops pretty minimal. I don't like a lot of clutter. One small tree and a candle is plenty for me. Didn't mean for that to come out as a Dr. Seuss moment, but 'tis the season. I'm continuing to cook that chili, and what I love about a crock pot meal is that while I am decorating, this is happening behind the scenes. I'm making this actually for a gathering, and I'm going to be bringing it for a chili cook-off. So we'll see who wins this one. This one is classic and fairly mild, but always my go-to. Now, I was a little torn on if I needed to add anything to the hood. I really love the classic look of a plain hood. I also love adding a wreath. I just use these command hooks that are kind of pretty, so if it shows, it's not going to be a problem, but it also is not damaging the wood on my hood. And I actually am really happy that I added this swag. It's so beautiful. It's a little bit different than your classic wreath, but it's really full and adds in that red that I wanted to bring throughout the rest of the house. Now it's time to tackle the other side of the kitchen, removing all of the fall decor. I have a spot for the plants that I am gathering in the basement. I'm just going to put them all in front of the sliding door so they get good light, and they're all in one place to make it really easy for me to water. That's my solution. If you have a different one, drop that in the comments. Now for this mantle, I am going to do a really cute snowflake garland, and this is where I'm adding my stockings this year. I really actually love that I have multiple mantles that I get to decorate. Once again, I'm bringing that same red ribbon over to this side of the kitchen. It's such an easy way to draw your entire color palette throughout the house without actually having to buy new decor. So we have this fireplace. It doesn't work. It is broken. And so I just kept the logs in here from when they previously used it as a gas fireplace. And until we are going to fix this, I thought I would make it pretty with a fake, with a fake tabletop fireplace that is made to be burned indoors or outdoors. So that's what we're gonna do. Holy smokers, that thing is heavy. Now, this is not a recommendation, it's not a tutorial, it's not a product review. This is none of these things because this is fire and I don't deal with fire in other people's houses. I researched this for my house and I think that it will work for my situation, but I will not be recommending this for anyone else. You can do the research to see if it'll work in your home and make that decision for yourself. I can link this product if you want to know what I'm using, but just so we're aware, this is me just trying something. And honestly, hoping that it works and that it will create a little bit of ambiance without having to pay $6,000 for a new fireplace. Snuffer here if I need it. It's gonna stay right handy. While this solution is not for everybody, I kind of love that it worked. It's definitely just for ambiance. I will maybe only light it when we have guests come over or when I want just a cozy glow in the evening. It's a great temporary solution and I can actually move it around and use it outdoors in the summertime. Now let's just tour the kitchen, sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy. I don't think I could love it anymore. Christmas is my favorite season to decorate for. Didn't get to do it at all last year because we were completely under construction. This kitchen did not even exist a year ago. It wasn't here. It was studs and plywood floors and moving electrical and plumbing everywhere and rebuilding from scratch. No insulation. This window was literally a giant hole in my house 1 year ago. I can't believe how far we've come. And I'm so grateful that I get to decorate for Christmas this year. I had so much fun and I really hope that you enjoyed following along and seeing all the little teeny pieces that go into creating something that is cozy and welcoming and Christmassy, but hopefully not like an overwhelming, especially in the kitchen. You don't want things cluttered all over your work surfaces, and so I just love how this turned out, and now I am ready to cozy in. Actually, I'm gonna decorate more for Christmas, so stay tuned for that, but today right now, in this moment, I'm grabbing my cup of coffee and I'm cozying in.